I guess one of the first things we're going to talk about is like big gambles. It sounds like you're on a bit of a roller coaster for the last, 9 months or not even that.
Reckless.
Yes, but exciting.
Yeah.
So tell us all about that.
Well, the big gamble was I made the like big commitment that I was gonna do this, like committed to the grapes, everything in December 2024, and then that week found out that my wife was pregnant. We were gonna have a kid, and for me to commit to that level of grapes, I knew I was gonna have to leave my job. I was gonna have to go full time. This was gonna have to be all in. My wife is freelance, doesn't get any maternity pay. And so within like a week, we went from being like so excited, like I'm finally doing this, to shit.
Yeah.
Like, how are we gonna live? And I was genuinely on the fence, like, do I not do this? And thank God, Rosie was like, look, you've missed your chance to do this at a good time. There's never going to be a good time again. So you're always going to kick yourself if you don't do it. Like you're not going to be able to live with yourself if you don't follow through. I'd been working on this for 5 years by that point.
Oh, really?
And she was like, you just have to do it. Like there's no other option, and we'll make it work. However, so yeah, literally like the week we found out, it was just like, fuck it, we have literally no other choice. And just dove head first, and then 9 months later, my son was born, and that same fortnight took first delivery of the product. So we launched in Selfridges 10 days after my son was born.
Wow.
And yeah, been on that roller coaster ever since.
Yeah. There's just so much to unpack, isn't there? Tell us about so just after that launch, tell us about some of the big moments that have really impacted the business and caused this trajectory. You mentioned about the radio.
Yeah, the biggest things that have happened to us was a 15-minute interview on Radio 4. God knows how they came across me, but the producer of the show just reached out on the Tuesday and said, do you want to be on the radio on Thursday? And that was unbelievable. That just catapulted us to like a level of awareness that I would never have expected at that stage, without spending any money, because at this point we still had no money. So I produced the first vintage without raising a penny. I didn't have any marketing budget. Like we were as lean as you can get, and all of a sudden we had 15 minutes on Radio 4 at midday on a Thursday. It's unbelievable. And then we've had some amazing kind of celebrities come across us. I know you guys came across me because Jamie Lang wrote the most amazing thing on LinkedIn and Instagram about the business. I've never met Jamie. Like, what a lovely thing to do. What a lovely way to use your profile. Jamie Morton, the host of My Dad Wrote a Porno and director of musicals, he came across us, loved us, talks about us all the time now. He's actually an investor now.
Oh, amazing.
Who else? Will Greenwood, same. We've spotted ourselves in like the background of Table Manners podcasts.
Oh, cool.
Just like Jessie Ware's podcast. So it's just like these, when you're a brand with no money, people with a big profile organically coming across it. The like first ever uplift we ever got was Lisa Faulkner, came across the wines, bought some, and posted an Instagram story of her husband John recording, and she like does a taste test, and you can tell she's really skeptical, and she takes a sip and she's like, okay, let's see what this is like, and her reaction is just gold because it's so natural, and she just goes, oh my God, that's delicious. And it was like a 7-second Instagram story, and it just immediately sales just went vroom. and actually, if I think about everything we've done since, it's all come from that insight that all people want to know about this product is it's delicious.
Yeah.
So yeah, the last 9 months, we've been so lucky with the people who've naturally come across the product, bought it, and talked about it when they don't need to, they don't get anything for it. It's just so lovely.
It's not luck. I think it's so interesting because there's a million businesses out there that are trying to get products out there that will send free products out and try and pay influencers to do what you're getting for free.
Yeah.
And that is because it's a good product.
Yeah.
It must be. That's the only. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I've tried it, so I know it is. But that must be the only way because
But do you also think it's your distribution strategy? Because you said at the beginning that you got listed in Selfridges.
yeah,
Your
very
average,
interesting.
maybe that's a rude way to say, but like your average consumer isn't necessarily in Selfridges, but the person that is looking in the wine section of Selfridges potentially, I would guess, has more disposable income, potentially has more reach. So like, was that strategic to go upper market, for want of another phrase?
Like, it was more that I didn't want to get spread too thin.
Yeah.
So first vintage, we only had 25 customers max, 25 stockists max, because I wanted to know that people were selling the wine, because my wine's different, right? There's not anything on the market like mine. First people in the world for 200 years making wine in this style. And so I knew that I needed the guys who talk to customers to be able to understand that, to explain it. And so we launched with incredible places like Selfridges, Gladwell's, the grocery, Super Rare, like unbelievable, iconic places. Actually, that reminds me, another one that came from nowhere, Dua Lipa's newsletter gave us a lovely shout out. And then we later found out that she's a regular at Super Rare, which was one of our 25 stockists. It's like, oh, that's how she found it. But like,
Yeah, so
I
you're
think
right.
that
It's a
it's such a
distribution
big
strategy.
thing that if someone's, because the thing about wine, right, is 98% of people will find wine really intimidating.
Yeah.
And they hate choosing.
Yeah.
And they feel so worried about getting it wrong, looking stupid. There's basically 2% of people who spend about 10% of the money who love choosing wine. But everyone else is so afraid of making the wrong decision that they really lean on the staff in good retailers. And so my best guess would be, if you're, pretty wealthy celebrity and you buy your wine in Selfridges and you're looking around like, I don't know what to buy. And then the staff are really good at being like, well, this is Future Chateau.
Yeah.
This is what it is. It's an ancient, lighter style of wine. It's about half the alcohol. It's about half the calories, but it tastes amazing. That's just really powerful, I think.
Yeah.
So my best guess is that's how people are coming across us.
So I would say it's not luck.
Yeah.
It's a
Not
well
at all.
thought out marketing distribution strategy, which has paid off. But did you see that coming? Like, did you see like you'd be sat almost like 9 months later?
No. Because
Really?
also the first vintage was so scrappy. Like I said, I didn't have any money when I made it. I didn't want to raise yet because I wanted to have made a liquid before I fundraised, because I thought that without proving that I could make something delicious, there'd be no value in the business.
Fair.
But that meant I couldn't afford to pay for branding. So didn't spend a penny on the branding. I had to scrimp on packaging. That bottles, labels, corks were so much cheaper than I would want. Even the grapes weren't, like, the first white used a Sauvignon as the base, Sauvignon Blanc, which is the last grape you would want to use for my method. But it's cheap and I didn't have any money. So the first vintage was just so far off where I wanted it to be. But was necessary, right? Because if I'd gone straight in and dived into like, here's the product that I want to make, I would have got it wrong because I didn't have all the learnings I've gotten from the last 9 months.
Yeah.
And I've learned so much that's gone into the second vintage. So I'm really pleased I did it that way. But given how scrappy vintage one was, to answer your question, absolutely not. I expect for it to get the erection it got. Like, yeah. I'm just buzzing.
How did you deal with like feeling comfortable with that? Because you said that a big part of what you're doing is it's not been done like this in 200 years. A big part is about the taste, because people potentially might be skeptical about the taste. You're then like creating a vintage, having to be scrappy with it. And like to the point you just said, you're using a grape that you're like, this isn't 100% going to give the flavour I want.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Or how do you calculate that risk, I guess? It's worked out, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I wouldn't say I dealt with it in a very good way. Like, I was, I was always kind of mortified by my first product. And I've got amazing friends and mentors and like, I remember my old boss, Pippa Murray, found a Pip in that. Going to see her and being like, I feel so embarrassed putting the wine in front of people because the packaging is so far off where I want it to be. And she was just like, Tom, like, no one in the world is holding these to the standard you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
very
everyone
true.
else just looks at them and goes,
Yeah.
yeah, they look good and they
Yeah.
taste amazing.
Yeah.
And
Because
so
the
like,
taste is the main thing.
yeah. So people constantly telling me that my standards were so unlike anyone else's. That was a big part of it. But don't get me wrong, I had loads of fucking panicking about it. And then, to be honest, seeing the reaction, and most importantly, seeing the customer data. Like, I don't know if I should say this on here, but over 5% of our customers reorder within 5 days of their delivery
Amazing.
arriving. The industry benchmark is 120 days to get to 5% reorders, because wine is slow, right?
Yeah.
Like, you send someone a case of wine, it goes on a shelf. It might be 2 weeks before they open a bottle at home. People don't open wine every week anymore. They open wine every 2 or 3 weeks. And the chance of it being your bottle...
Maybe not in this situation.
Yeah.
All right.
The chance of it being your bottle aren't that high.
Yeah.
And then by the time they've tried 2 or 3 and realize they want more, chances are like, well, 4 months have gone past for most businesses.
Yeah.
And for me, it's less than 5 days. Like, people open a bottle that night, they open another next day, and they go, shit, I'm going to run out in 2 days. And they order more. Like, and it's the most encouraging signal we've ever gotten. And that was with the first vintage. The second vintage is already outperforming that. It's only been in market for 2.5 weeks. But that was the big thing. Like, when I started seeing customers reorder so rapidly and so regularly, I would like phone customers, talk to them about why they like the product, what
Okay.
they like about it, and hearing from people firsthand how much they love it and why. I don't know. It basically took everything that Pip said to me, which was like, you're holding these to a completely unrealistic standard, and just, drew it in ink. Like, normal people thought they were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they think the new ones are amazing.
Phenomenal.
So, yeah.